Looks like I'm live on all platforms. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What Would Dorsey Do Live. I am dropping some truth bombs here today, so just want to get to it and welcome everybody on all streaming platforms. So if you're watching from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, welcome. So excited to have you here live with me today. Today, What Would Dorsey Do's episode is all about dropping the truth and why Dr. Childress's model isn't working and it's not what you think. So in today's episode, I'm talking to you, targeted parents who keep asking, why isn't reunification working? Even after getting the right diagnosis, after hiring therapists who get it. This episode is for you. And so buckle up, buttercups, because we are diving in today. And today I'm going to be poking the bear and we're not going to waste time. We're going to get right to it. And if you're here hoping for a polite, clinical breakdown of why things aren't working, then you're in the wrong room. This conversation isn't sanitized and it's not going to be diplomatic and it's not going to make everyone feel warm and fuzzy and comfortable. And I've done a lot of episodes speaking to your warm and fuzzy and comfortable side. But today I'm going to be diving in and telling the truth. And the truth is exactly what's been missing from this very important conversation. So let's start poking the bear, shall we? So Dr. Childress's assessment and treatment model isn't working. And it's not because the model is flawed or bad. It's because the people executing it are. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Talk therapy is failing our kids and it's failing you. And as long as you keep outsourcing the solution to someone with a degree framed on the wall or credentials in the therapeutic community, then you're going to get no actual results. You're choosing to stay stuck. And this is going to sting today, but it's also going to set you free if you listen with your heart and not just with your ears or your stuck mindset. So the first shift is the problem isn't the model, it's the implementation. Dr. Childress's trauma-informed pathology targeting framework is airtight, but it's being diluted by therapists who can't hold boundaries, coaches who coddle instead of correct, and Gardnerian experts who poach different pieces of it, and the systems that prioritize protocol over progress. And worst of all, parents are still begging for those systems for help. And this could be you. You keep asking for a therapist. We get numerous calls and text messages and chats on our website and emails. Can you refer a therapist? Can you help us? Can you do therapy? And you keep consenting to evaluations and you keep playing nice while your child is sinking into cult-like psychological distortion. And so I want to be really clear. This isn't a therapy problem. It's a pattern problem. And your nervous system is still reaching for external authority and you're looking for a rescuer. And the more you do that, the more disempowered you actually become. So I want to share some insights with you. Some of you know some of this languaging because you've been in my world for a while, but we have a lot of new people that have been popping into our world and the insight about the chosen parent archetypes. And I just want to remind you, if you're a rejected or a targeted parent, that you're not a broken parent. You're the chosen parent, and that's a phrase I coined, the one that your child unconsciously believes is strong enough to hold the line. But holding that line doesn't mean hiring a therapist to be your savior. It means becoming the living, breathing antidote or getting out of the distorted narrative. So you have to reclaim your internal authority. And yes, that's going to require interrupting every rote, well-meaning, codependent habit that got you here. And yep, I said it. You're all doing it. I know you're doing it. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And you come to my videos and Maddie's videos and other people. I see you guys. I see your comments on TikTok. I see you everywhere. And it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. It's like you're in the pattern loop, the loop of being abused, and you just keep going round and round and round and round and round. And you're looking for somebody outside of you to save you. One mom I was working with had the full Childress package. She got the diagnosis, she had a Childress report, she had the documentation, the court ordered therapy. She spent 75 grand and on therapy and getting the court order and got literally nowhere. And why? Because the therapist told her, wait and see, your child is spiraling further now that we're doing reunification therapy. There's no such thing. And the therapist was incompetent. And even though the therapist said she knew all about parental alienation and all about Childress's work, and she actually did a pretty good job on the diagnosis, she clearly was using his model, but it's still not enough. It wasn't enough because she had no idea how to recover the children. And even worse, she had no idea how to help you, the parent, heal and the other parent heal. So what ended up happening? Well, that mom was so frustrated that she slumped into a deep depression, more doom and gloom, and continued to suffer. And she continued down that path for a year, going to therapy with it by herself, waiting for the child. It's insane. So when she finally came to me, the first thing I told her was stop waiting and stop working with incompetent professionals who know the language and not the solution. It's disgusting and so frustrating. I hope you can hear in my voice how absolutely frustrating this is. Stop paying people to validate your reality. Stop listening to people that just validate your reality. I get it. We get where you are. Start interrupting the trance. So when that mom started working with me, within 3 weeks, she reversed the behavioral system, not because I'm magic, but because she finally was ready to reclaim the role of the lead healer in her family. She shifted from showing up as a victim parent, as a rejected parent, as a targeted parent, and she started showing up, fully embracing her role as the chosen parent, as the leader of her family. And when it clicked in and she figured it out, she literally got it. You could see it land in her body. And the sad part was that this mom has been following me on social media for over 5 years. Oy, people. And I know some of you have been following me for a long time too. And you don't need more therapy. You need a rupture. You need a pattern interrupt, a psychological ceasefire on the old way of being. And that's where the program Parent Interrupted is designed to help you. And it doesn't give you a gold star or another evaluation. It gives you your power back. And we recalibrate your nervous system and your narrative and your sacred no. Because when you use a no and it's not sacred, it holds you stuck. But when it becomes sacred, your child can finally hear yes again. So I wasn't going to share this with you guys today, but you can see I'm fired up and I think you're ready for it. And many of the therapists out there who claim to be reunification experts are operating from an unhealed trauma themselves, and they are still afraid of being the bad guy, and they collapse in the face of the alienating parent. Or worse, they collide with them. And so that's why you can't rely on the title. You need results. And if you're not getting them, it's time to stop over compensating for their bad behavior and outsourcing what it is that you need to get done and start interrupting it. And I spoke with a parent yesterday, and I'm still just shaking my head at what he shared with me. And he sent me a letter from a therapist. And the call started with them being really excited about the fact that the therapist had recognized the alienation and even cited it in this letter. And he felt hopeful. And he actually used the word, that the therapist actually used the word or phrase parental alienation and called mom out. And like finally somebody named it. But then guess what happened? That therapist quit. What? That's right. She quit. She quit the case because she was afraid of the alienating parent. And not just afraid, she collapsed. She bolted out of her role and left the father holding the bag, scrambling to find someone, anyone, to help him. And you know what she gave him? A list of useless names, names of therapists who won't touch the case because they're afraid to, because no one wants to stand up to the pressure. No one wants to learn how to do it right. And here's the real kicker. She violated 5 separate code of ethics, including the one that mattered the most for this dad and his family, continuity of care. She abandoned him. She cites that he's her patient, and then she kicked him to the curb. She failed to coordinate a proper transition. She kept the children in her practice under supervision of another therapist the mom hired unilaterally. No alignment, no consent from dad, no accountability, just pure dysfunction in a clinical costume. And listen, I had a very illuminating conversation with this dad yesterday, and he saw it clearly. And this isn't just negligence, it's a cowardice disguised in clinical neutrality. No, there is no clinical neutrality. When we're dealing with abuse, we protect all abused children all of the time. And actually, this dad was falsely accused, and they protected the children from him immediately. And he's trying to crawl out of a hole of false allegations. And here they are allying with the abusive parent. Now, here's what I haven't said publicly yet, but Dr. Childress sent me his GPT. I know he posted about it because he sent me an email saying he was, and it's solid. But I've already been working on my own GPTs, a full spectrum model of stacked GPTs that integrate not just his framework, but our framework and the Dorsey method, sacred data tagging that we do in custody resolution method, trauma systems theory, cult dynamics, attachment rupture repair, the SAFER model by the Battered Women's Justice, all of it. We take all of the systems that everybody's using in a fragmented way and we put them together. And let me tell you, when I ran this therapist behavior through the Sacred Timeline GPT, it literally lit up like a Christmas tree. Conflict avoidant, boundary violations, ethical breaches, bias referrals, systemic collusion, patient abandonment. The system's broken. Okay. The solution isn't fixing the system, it's interrupting it. And that's why I created Parent Interrupted. That's why it exists. And it's there to end the cycle of external dependency, to break this spell that you're all in of waiting for someone else to get it. Stop. You need to rebuild your nervous system so that you can hold the line without flinching, without being in fear, without asking your kids permission and the therapist and everybody. Stop it. Because so many of you ask, can you refer a therapist? Can you do evaluation? What about an evaluation? This, that, and everything. Stop. No. The answer is no. And the reason the answer is no is what I just shared with you. They're not doing their job. And just because they use terminology that makes you feel good, they're pulling you down the rabbit hole. Okay, they're literally pulling you into the rabbit hole and keeping you disillusioned, keeping you stuck in your delusion. So a lot of people ask me that missed Parent Interrupted live, and we recorded that, and you can have lifetime access if you were involved in the first one, and you can sign up for the recorded one. But people, we got a lot of messages, a lot of people begging, can you please do it again live? And we got a lot of positive feedback from the program, and I did it a 5-day Parent Interrupted live. So they wanted to work with me. They wanted to be in the group community, and they wanted real-time reclamation with me. And so I am bringing it back live, and enrollment is open now. And my team will put the link in the chat. And if you're listening to this later, it'll be in the show notes. And I believe it's consciouscoparentinginstitute.com Parent Interrupted, but don't mark my words. Make sure you check the show notes or the chat. And let's take your power back. Let's Regulate your nervous system and find your authenticity again, your authentic voice as the beloved chosen parent. And I want to say this clearly and absolutely unapologetically as I possibly can. Stop. Stop looking for another therapist. Stop it. Stop asking for another evaluation. Somebody called in and said, well, I got another evaluator. The first one was terrible, but this one's going to be better because I'm paying for it. Stop it. You're just reinforcing the delusion. What happened to you? Stop doing that. Stop begging for a guardian ad litem to finally do their job. Stop. Stop handing your power away. Stop giving people your power like it's candy in a courtroom. Stop it. Every time you say, well, maybe this therapist will understand, you're putting another hand in the cookie jar of your child's mind and another professional who's not equipped, not trained, not trauma informed, and definitely not brave enough to hold the line. So you think you're doing what's right, but you're actually feeding the system that's starving your child of clarity. Let that land. So if adding another hand hasn't fixed it before or hasn't fixed it by now, another hand isn't going to fix it. The only person with the power to interrupt this pattern is you, not the judge, not the therapist, not the evaluator, not me, not Dr. Childress, you. That's the heartbeat of Parent Interrupted. We strip the trance and we stop the outsourcing and we rebuild your internal authority so that your child can feel it in their bones. They feel you shifting. The world doesn't need more therapists and your child doesn't need more sessions. They need you. They need you unshakable, unwavering, and unapologetically activated. And if you're ready to stop playing small and stop letting the legal system and the therapeutic community dictate your relationship with your children or even your co-parent, you're not a victim. You're an active participant in this. You may be unconscious to that, but you're actively participating by doing the same things over and over and over again. And the reason is you're stuck in a trauma response. You're in functional freeze. You're frozen. And then some of you fight, but you're still in a trauma fight. You're not regulated. So your fight is falling on deaf ears. So the Parent Interrupted is where we begin. I'm going to be teaching it live for 5 days. Enrollment is open, and this is the Pattern Interrupt, and you can click the link, step in, and reclaim your role. This isn't like anything you've ever done before. So this isn't going to be courtroom strategies and communications, all of that stuff. We have a million classes on that. If you're interested in some of that stuff, we have that on our website already. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff we can do. However, let me just say this here loud and clear. Those programs will be 1,000 times more powerful when you do this inner work. You must step in and reclaim your role as the chosen parent because your child can't follow you home if you're still begging to be rescued. Okay? Your child can't follow you home if you're still begging to be rescued. So let's just take a sacred pause here for a second and breathe, because I know you've been searching, and I know you've read the books and watched our webinars and maybe even clung to Dr. Childress's work like a lifeline. And you're right, his model is so powerful, but let's be honest, it's not the model that's failing. It's the therapist who don't know how to embody it, who collapse under the pressure and who keep saying, let's wait and see, while your child completely disappears right before your eyes. And you've tried being patient, being polite, being therapeutic, but all that's done is delay the real healing. The therapists and the community, they're laughing at you because they know that they can walk all over you. They know that they can twist and distort things because they're more afraid of the other parent than they are of you. And that's because you're dysregulated. Your nervous system is not regulated. and you're stuck. You're in a trauma response, and it's okay. You're not a bad person or a bad parent, but you need to know the truth, because everybody's coming into this space and blowing smoke up your ass and have all these programs and coaching programs, blah, 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 therapy and all this stuff. Nobody's doing this deeper work, the healing work. You have to do this first. You can't skip it. Okay. And the only thing left to try is you. You've tried all these other things. And what if your child's path home doesn't begin with another evaluation or another therapy session, but with a full body pattern interruption? And that's what Parent Interrupted is. It's not a course, it's a reclamation. And because so many have asked, we're doing it again live. Okay. It's amazing recorded, but if you want to do it live, I'm doing it live again. And you asked for it. You wanted community. You wanted the coaching. You wanted to work with me live, and you wanted to do it in real time with me. And so let's do it. It's so amazing. It's one of my most favorite things I've done in a long time. It's really, really powerful. It's deeply, deeply healing and shifts you at your core. So this is your moment. No more outsourcing, no more waiting, no more asking permission. Enrollment is open. So come interrupt your patterns and come home to yourself so that your child can come home to you. This program, this process with me is about empowerment. So it's not about me doing anything for you. It's about me opening the space for you to find that place that already resides within you. And this is why I'm leading Parent Interrupted live again, because enough is enough. And if you're done playing the old game, come interrupt the pattern with us, enroll and join us. It's up to you. You can't keep going down the rabbit holes of evaluation and court orders, and maybe the therapist will get it, or the therapist understands because they're saying, resist and refused, or they're using Dr. Childress's work, or they're saying parental alienation, or they're doing all of it. Ugh. Stop. Okay, stop. You can interrupt the entire cycle. It all starts with you. And for those of you who think that it's the child, no, it's actually you. And it's time to stop looking for permission. And it's not about blame. It's about your boldness. And it's time to stop asking for help from people who are not equipped to give it. I don't care what their title is. I don't care how many degrees they have. They have no idea how to help you. And they've never recovered kids. Maybe by accident they've recovered a kid, but I highly doubt it. And it's time to choose yourself so your child can finally come home. And I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades. Almost it'll be 20 years on February 10th. And I'm telling you, I've been doing this so long, and the therapeutic community is an abomination. It's an abomination. And they get into the field to help people. I understand that, but they're not doing their own healing work, and they're not learning the skills. And if you're a therapist watching this and you're like, secretly like, this is me and I don't know what to do, then connect with somebody on my team, because we have an amazing coach training that will teach you how to do this right, how to recover these kids. So, and these families, and prevent it from escalating to where you need to do a protective separation. We teach you everything. So if you are interested, you can click on our website, go to our website and connect with somebody on my team. So this is you. If you've been waiting for the system to change while you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, you are part of the problem. And I want you to let that sink in. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, you are part of the problem. Okay? So if you're still chasing a new therapist, if you're still asking the court, please see what's happening, if you're still hoping that your ex will magically play fair, you're looping the same disempowered pattern, and you're expecting a sovereign result. And it absolutely does not work like that. And it never, ever has. I know a lot of you watch Maddie and her videos, and she did a series of Dr. Childress's old videos. And she said it so clearly that if they would have protected me, if the therapist who had done their job, who had done their job when she was a kid, they could have saved her decades time of suffering. And I totally agree with her. I had so many therapists when I was a teenager, and they all allied with my abusive mom and furthered the abuse. And I'm 55, people. And it's because parents keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have to stop. The systems don't change because we ask nicely. They change when we change, when we stop consenting, when we stop participating in our own disempowerment, when we become the interruption. And you say that you're fighting for your child, then fight differently. Fight from a regulated nervous system. No more begging. No more repeating the cycle in a different costume. It ends here with you. You're not alone. You're not the villain. You're also not the victim. You're the one brave enough to go first. And I see you, and I'm walking with you. So don't misinterpret my expressive tone and body language as I'm mad at you. Well, I'm a little mad at you. I'm mad at you from the child's perspective because the voice of your child is barreling out of me right now. They're waiting for you. They want you to do this work. So it's up to you. You can keep going down the rabbit hole of evaluations and court orders, and maybe this new therapist will get it. Or you can interrupt the entire cycle starting with you. So if you want to join us in Parent Interrupted, please join us. It's the activation sequence, the reclamation of your internal authority, the interruption that makes the healing possible. It isn't about blame. It's about your boldness. And it's time to stop looking for permission. And it's time to stop asking for help from people who are not equipped to give it. And it's time to choose yourself so that your children can finally come home. They're waiting for you. So stop thinking that Dr. Childress or his model is going to save you or your children. It's not going to do that. Dr. Childress has said this thousands of times. He's not your savior. He is not going to save you. I am not your savior. I am not going to save you. Only you. And for those in the back of the room still blaming your children, and I see you and I know you because you're commenting on my videos all the time. You're still blaming your kids. You're still saying they're brainwashed, they're disrespectful, they're ungrateful, they know better, they're adults now. Why are they not doing better? Let me offer this to you. They're not the problem. They're the mirror, okay? The reflection of everything you haven't healed. You haven't interrupted. You haven't had the courage to face. And I know those words might sting, and you might be mad at me, and that is okay. If you're still sitting in blame, you are not protecting your children. You are protecting your ego. And healing does not live in the ego. So if you want to lead your children home, you have to start with yourself. No child can trust a parent who refuses to go first. Okay? No child can trust a parent. No child can trust a parent who refuses to go first. So you're not alone. It's not too late. Yeah, you're just one interruption away from everything changing. And I'll meet you on the road in Parent Interrupted. So I appreciate you listening to my very animated rant this afternoon. I hope it sinks in, and I hope you hear the authenticity in my voice in what is actually happening for you and for your children. My next lives are going to be the activation for the kids. So just so you know, I'm going to be speaking to the adult children, but I don't want you to make that the excuse that you don't do the work, because you may be disappointed in the messaging I'm giving to the adult children, because it's the opposite of this coin, which is helping them understand why they haven't been able to reunite with you, because they don't want to reunite with a traumatized, broken parent. They feel broken, guilty, and a lot of shame themselves. So I want to help the kids. We have a whole beautiful program for the adult children. And I want to get this message out to you because a lot of people have asked, and I'm going to do Parent Interrupted Live one more time live. So if you want to participate with us, this is your opportunity. And we come into a Zoom live. So you get to come in, ask questions. I guide you through really deep, beautiful healing and activation. So again, it's not too late. You're one interruption away from everything changing. So thank you so much for participating and listening. I'm so excited to have you all here. I can see people, my phone is like popping off, so I can see people are signing up. Thank you for signing up and saying yes to yourself and to healing your relationship with your beloved children. Now, I'm going to pause there and I'm just going to take a quick look and see if there are any questions in the chat. Since I see some people chatting, I can only see one chat, so hopefully my team has been answering, but Daryl, somebody put that guy in Facebook jail. Hi, Maddie, 100%. Thank you. Okay, I don't see any questions. So let me just look in a couple of other places. I don't think so. So, all right, that's it for now then. So for those of you that are joining us live, congratulations, welcome. I look forward to working with you in Parent Interrupted, and I appreciate your time today. Everybody have an amazing day. Remember, peace in so you can have peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.